Okay, hello and welcome. This is Debs the Duke here, and I guess I'm going to be starting my first YouTube video for this channel. Technically, this is not the very first for this channel, but the last time I recorded any sort of YouTube videos was when I was a kid, probably. Well before I was in college, but I think before even I was in high school. So, today, as you can see, I'm going to be playing some Rogue Legacy. I'm going to be starting a new series, so this is probably going to be part one of the series. I was just looking through all the games I have and thinking, you know, what can I play that I can actually have a series on that, you know, will actually last, will actually provide enough content. And Rogue Legacy seems like one of those types of games where I can at least have it go for a good amount of episodes and create a reasonable amount of content on it. So I guess for now, let me just get right into the gameplay, right? So I guess I should probably go on to my different whatever. So if I go on to no, not this. Let's see. Oh, here we go. Change profile. So, yeah, I mean, as you can see, I have two profiles. One of them is level 95. One of them is level 13. I think that was my little brother's. We're going to delete this one for now. And we're going to replace it with the YouTube channels. So, if you don't know what this game is, it's a platformer. It has a lot of platforming elements. But at the same time, it's sort of like, it's a roguelite platformer. And if you don't know what a roguelite is, a roguelite, not a roguelike, a roguelite is a game that's similar to roguelikes in that you basically, you get a certain run, and then when you die, you have to restart with a new run. But it's different from a roguelike in that there is a sense of permanent progress that you make within the game, and so by the time, and you know, with each run, progressively your character gets stronger and you're able to get further until you can eventually beat all of the bosses and win the game, right? So as you guys can see, this is a platformer. I can smash up the furniture, get some gold from it. I can smash into these thingies here and step on them. I actually haven't played this game in quite a while, which is why I wanted to do a series on it, because it's a really good game. It's pretty old. You know, it's definitely at least 5 years old, but maybe even more than that. I don't know. So as you can see, we ended killing the king, and that's because in that tutorial we were actually an assassin who was sent to kill the king, and now we are playing as the descendants of that king that we have just killed. So here we have a little training dummy. We can test to see how many damage I do. So I do 25 right now. If I go this way, I can go to the manor, right? Which is basically I can upgrade stuff. I don't have any gold yet, so I can't upgrade anything, but you know, later on when I actually am able to get gold, I'll be able to upgrade stuff. So I go to the castle for my first run, right? So sometimes the enemies will drop little mana potions and elf legs, chicken legs, right? There's some chests throughout the entire castle. And I can get money and various things from. And obviously, I run around and doing what I can to avoid their attacks. So here we got a blueprint, right? So I found a blood chest. So in various chests, you can sometimes find blueprints to various pieces of gear that you can then purchase. Now, one characteristic about this game is that as you upgrade the castle that I showed you earlier, you get various upgrades, but at the same time, slowly but surely, the enemies in the castle's level also goes up as your upgrades go up. And so, by purchasing upgrades in the castle, your character gets stronger, but slowly, the enemies also get stronger. And so, it's actually better to just purchase gear to upgrade your character than it is to actually just purchase your level up upgrades. That being said, the level up upgrades allow you to become stronger than the enemies do, and therefore, even though the enemies are getting stronger, you're getting stronger by a greater margin, and so it's still well worth it to be purchasing upgrades if you have the money. So this guy, as you can see, he's like pretty big purple dude. He shoots like 1 million projectiles, and the reason is because each type of enemy within the castle has basically 3 tiers of that enemy. So if you remember from the previous rooms we were fighting, and there were a couple of those blue mages that let off 6 ice shards in a hexagonal formation, and that guy was basically the 3rd tier of that type of enemy. So, you know, the 1st tier lets off a few ice shards, the 2nd tier lets off like a big circle of them, and the 3rd tier that we just fought lets off a whole rain of them. And the reason why we saw the 3rd tier before the 2nd tier is because once in a while you get unlucky and you get a room that spawns with a 3rd tier enemy, even in the lowest levels of the dungeon. And that occurrence, the frequency of that, is dependent on your level, right? I'm level 0, so that's not going to happen too often yet, but it can happen as we've just seen. So, the 2nd tier enemies can only really be found in the much more difficult levels of the dungeon, in which case they are everywhere. In every single room you'll find the 2nd tier enemies, and then when you get to a certain point, you'll eventually be finding 3rd tier enemies in every single room, but not yet, right? Because we're just level 0. So these are floor spikes. When I step on them, they'll pop up and try to kill me, so I can't be stepping on them too long, but I can indeed jump around and finesse. Since this is a playthrough, and since I would assume most people have not seen this game at this point, I'll go ahead and read these journals. So this is just sort of like a little log that sometimes you find and you read them in order. So here we go. Journal entry number 1. Treason. An assassin has wounded my father, the king. To bring order back to the kingdom, he has sent my siblings and I on a quest to save him. Together we will venture into these cursed woods and enter Castle Hampson. The cursed castle has stood on the edge of the woods since time immemorial, but rumors say that within it dwell an item with which will cure any ailment. Tonight I will get a head start over our brothers and sisters and set forth on my quest while they lay asleep. To fail this quest would be an embarrassment to my name. So, essentially that is a journal that is written by my character, but as you will later see, as I die, I am presented with a series of heirs to the throne, and I get to choose one of 3 heirs to play as my next character. And you will see later on that there will be just sort of a line of royalty based on the characters that I choose successively. And so, as of right now, I'm playing as Sir Lee, right? And then later on, we can see like all of the characters that I've played and died as in a big line, and we'll be able to view that. So, but the one who wrote the journal is actually this character, Sir Lee, and then the descendants later who find the other journals will be reading the journals of this guy, right? And as you can see, I just took the first piece of damage there. I thought that he was going to die in 2 hits, but unfortunately, I've now taken some damage. So, here we have a fairy chest room. So basically what that is It has a certain objective, right? And in this case, it's take no damage. And essentially what that means is that at the edge of this room there is a chest, and if I can get to the chest without taking any damage, then I will get a rune. And a rune is something that I can purchase that will give my character various upgrades, which you'll see later on if we can actually manage to take no damage here. I really, well, that was unfortunate, but we have now taken some damage, so we have the objective. I really didn't think I was going to be able to do this one, because if I walk that way, you'll see that there are probably like 6 of those guys over there just waiting for me to go. And as you can see with my health, I'm now at 13 out of 100 after taking a mere 2 hits. So, I'm about to die. Oh, I did not notice that guy there. Oh, I might actually die. So as you can see, it starts off pretty difficult. 3 hits and I'm dead. But later on, I'll get some upgrades and it will be much easier than that. It starts off pretty difficult. So let's choose our next heir. So as you can see, we have Sir Johannes, the legendary knight. And that was actually probably the guy who assassinated our father, right? And then we have Sir Lee that I just played as. And they each lived 30 years, right? Pretty short lifespan, but you know, that is what it is. So we have Lady Littner, a knight with Coprolalia and Conflux as the spell. We have a knight with EHS and they're gay, and they have a dagger. And we have a knave, and they have hypergonadism, and they have an axe. So basically each character has certain traits, and various traits do various different things. Coprolalia really just makes any text that they say curse words as far as I know. EHS makes it so that the platforms that I was jumping on earlier, I no longer have to down thrust into them in order to open them. They'll always be permanently open. As far as I know, Gay doesn't make any impact on the actual gameplay. And hypergonadism makes you knock back enemies a lot. So we'll try this one. Who is it? Lady Antoinette. They're a knave, which means that they land critical hits. They don't have really any other good stats, but they do a lot of devastating criticals. So I have 800 gold here, and we have this tree that we can now purchase from. So the first thing we purchase is the smithy, right? Following the smithy, we can purchase a health up and a mana up, and we'll do both of those. And then we can upgrade our knights to paladins, which allows them to use shields to block damage at the cost of mana. But before we do that, let's take a look at the blacksmith. Welcome, hero. Maybe you can help me. I used to be the greatest blacksmith in all the lands, but one day the monsters of this castle attacked my smithy and stole all my blueprints. Without those blueprints, I can only make cutlery and stuff. Please bring back any blueprints you find, and I can build the most amazing equipment ever. At a price, of course. So as you can see, we can buy stuff from him. So we have 4 or 5 rather equipment slots that we can purchase from. We have a sword, and then we have the 4 types of armor, including a cape. So the first thing I'll buy is the Squire Sword. It allows me to have 7 more damage than I have, and it adds 15 weight, but I have a maximum of 50 weight currently, so that's fine. It costed me a little bit of money, but that's not bad. We can buy a helm, gives us 20 extra health, 5 extra mana, costs 150 gold, and it gives us 10 extra weight. We can do that. So we can also buy a blood chest. We don't have enough money currently, but it gives me 14 armor. It gives me minus 30 health. However, it gives me vampirism, which means that every time I kill an enemy, I regain health back. So that's actually very useful, especially in the early game. Once you get the better armors, it becomes sort of obsolete, and you get other ways to regain health back. But for now, I don't have the money yet, but when I am able to buy that, I certainly will. We also have the Squire Limbs, which I can purchase to give me +5 magic. I have enough money, so since I don't have any other equipment I can purchase, I'll go ahead and get that. So now I have some extra magic, some extra damage, some extra armor, and I'm going to go ahead. I have 20 gold left, but as you can see, there's this guy right here who I have to talk to. And what he says, one must pay the toll. Give Sharon all your money and enter the castle. So basically, every time you enter the castle, you have to give this guy all of your money. Now, there are certain upgrades that you can get later on that allow you to not have to pay him literally everything. But either way, you have to spend all of your money before you go back in again. Or at least the majority. Sorry guys, just had to take a drink there, but let's get back. As you guys can see, the knockback trait is slowly coming into play here, right? I'm knocking these guys way back, which is pretty easy to be annoying, but as you can see there, I got a critical for 66 damage, despite the fact that I'm doing 24 damage regularly. So it does more than twice the amount of damage that I regularly do in a unfortunately, I took a bit of damage there. That was sort of my own stability. But it's also that there's a lot going on this way. Cycling very much down there. That would be a very back for this character. We're not dead yet. One hitting will be dead basically. We got a couple chicken legs, so that's nice. We got some health recovery. Depending on what hits us, we might not die immediately. Fortunately, we have 2 health left. And we are now definitely going to die no matter what happens the next time we get it. But we got a chicken leg, but we're still at the point where if we get hit a single time, we're going to die no matter what happens. So as I said before, this is another one of the 3rd tier enemies. Beat it. Also, I haven't been using my spells, so let me actually show that off. Not right now, but... That's a close fit. So we did actually get quite a bit of gold from that, which means that that's kind of nice. We got another chicken leg, so... Unfortunately. Well, that was what it was, but that was not a bad run since we managed to get that chest, right? I've been recording for about 20 minutes now. I guess I'll have one more run and then I'll quit, right? I don't want the first video to be like that short, but I know that a lot of people on YouTube like really hate long videos, like 30-minute, 40-minute, 50-minute even videos. But me personally, I actually quite like videos that are like relatively long because hey, it's just more content. I know everyone else is like really impatient and like, oh, I want to watch a 10-minute video of somebody like shooting and being an idiot and doing all this and funny, clips that are like 3 seconds long each. But when I watch a video, I'd rather watch like a long, you know, thorough let's play of, you know, some game that has a lot of parts and a lot of longer videos. So that's my personal preference, and I'm going to do things according to my own personal preference. If people don't like it, well, I don't care. You're free to watch, you're free to not watch. That's my theory as far as YouTube goes. So we've got a barbarian with hypergonadism and daggers. We've got a knight with 2 less hands that can't cast spells properly. I guess that would be interesting to show off spells, but since I haven't actually shown off the spells, it would be kind of weird because you guys wouldn't know what it should have been in the first place, so it will just look sort of weird. And we can just have a regular barbarian. So let's just do the regular barbarian. We do have 770 gold, so let's go ahead and purchase that blood chest that we were looking at earlier for 500 gold. Yeah, it didn't register for a second. So now we have a little less health, but barbarians already have like a ton of health anyway, so now we have some vampirism. We can get 2 health back every time we kill an enemy. Which isn't that much, but when you have multiple pieces of the equipment, it sort of stacks up, and then you can get up to like 10 health or 20 health even if you have runes. And then it's like a ton by then. So we can upgrade our knights. I suppose we have no reason not to. We can do equipment up, which allows us to have more carry weight, which right now doesn't really matter, but in the future we'll need it, so we'll go ahead and do one of those. And then we have either purchasing the Enchantress or the Architect. For now, we'll just purchase the Enchantress because she's more important than the Architect. The Architect allows you to basically, you earn less money when you go in, but you have the same castle the next time that you play. So, you know, I'm not really sure what purpose there is to doing that, but I mean, if you want to like have the same layout and know exactly where everything is, I guess the real reason for that is if you want to fight bosses and you want to do it quickly and know exactly where they are. But as far as I'm concerned, that just makes you end up making less money, so I mean, not a big fan of that. The Enchantress allows you to purchase runes, which allow you to have various skills. So, hello hero, could I borrow your ear for a moment? I'm in need of your help. I used to be a very powerful enchantress, but one day the monsters of this castle invaded my dreams and stole my knowledge. They encased that knowledge in runes, and without those runes, I suck at my job. Please hero, if you find any runes, bring them back to me, and then I'll sell it back to you at a profit. So basically, we're giving it to her so that she can then sell it to me, right? That makes perfect sense. So we could pay 175 to unlock a sprint rune, which I wish I had enough money to, but unfortunately I do not. We could get a vault rune, which allows us to double jump. So the sprint rune allows us to dash, basically. The vault rune allows us to double jump. Do we have any other runes that we could purchase? Or no? No. So all the other runes we have to find in those fairy chests, right? And now we have to give him all 0 of our gold. Let me take a drink real quick. Okay. So I'll play this one more and then I'll the video for now. I also plan on spreading out some other series. I'm not exactly sure as to what I should play. I'm considering CSGO. I would consider Binding of Isaac, but like honestly, I'm like ridiculously bad at it to the point where I don't know if I could actually like start a series for that because I don't even think I'd be able to beat it, you know, like ever. Maybe I will though. I have Hollow Knight, which I was considering doing a series for, but I haven't even touched the game myself, so I'm not sure. Oh man, this is maybe I'll do some Binding of Isaac. Oh, we actually have the ability to win this room. So you can see it says defeat all enemies, and there's that skeleton down there, and you know, immediately one would think, oh, how am I supposed to kill that skeleton? But this is how. We have an axe as our spell, which the axe creates a sort of a parabolic arc to hit enemies, and because we had that axe, we were able to hit them. So now we got the rune, and we got a balance rune. Now a balance rune gives you basically 1 point of vampirism and 1 point of mana regen every time you kill an enemy. So that was actually a very good rune to get, unfortunately. Do we not have our blood chest equipped? What happened? I thought I would purchase the blood chest, but it appears as if I didn't actually... Oh, maybe we didn't have enough carry weight to pick it up again and purchase. There we go. We finally got him. So we have a carnival. Which type is it? I don't know. So this guy allows you to do some challenges, and sometimes you can earn money. You only get one shot, but it's free of charge. If you succeed, I'll give you a nice reward. You get 5 axes to destroy as many targets as possible. Leave less than 10 standing, and I'll give you a special prize. Give it a try. This one I've beaten before. It's not super easy, but it's also not like terribly difficult. So as you can see, I'm really bad at this one. Oh no. That was terrible. That was really bad. Oh. However, as you can see from the fact that we're a Librarian, I have quite a bit of health. So even though I've taken like as many hits as it has taken me to die in recent ones, I still have more than half my health. Now this is a jukebox, you can use it to change the music, so we're going to put it on my favorite music in the entire game, which is Rampage. I don't have a dash room here, so they can't do this one. Yeah, we definitely need a dash room to do this, I think. I know we can try. That might have been possible without a dash room, but it would be really hard. It's really easy with a dash room. Chest at the end of this. Unfortunately, I took a lot of damage there. which has led to maybe an episode of death, unfortunately. However, with the end of this run, I will have a reasonable amount of gold to purchase more upgrades, so progress is indeed being made. The reason why I'm relatively reluctant to do a Binding of Isaac playthrough is simply the fact that because this is a game where I can make progress and eventually get a lot better, it's the type of game where I know that eventually I'll be able to beat it. Binding of Isaac, however, I've never beaten it before, and I don't foresee myself ever beating it. Like, I've beaten it the regular way, but I've never even beaten the mom's heart, right? I've gotten to it before, but then I lost the fight. But that's the farthest I've ever actually gotten in the game. But I mean, maybe I'll give it a try, right? So I think that's good for now. Yeah, we're at about 31 minutes, so this has been Dubs the Duke Soma playing Rogue Legacy. This has been part 1. Thank you for watching. I'll be back next time with part 2, and I hope y'all are having a good day. Goodbye.